All right, so like when you go to your operator's manual on page 38, you're going to see two different fuel filter options here. You don't want to look at the 575 one because you're going to be kind of looking at it funny, going, well, that doesn't look like the one that I have. And it's not, because the 585 has a non-fuel injected style motor, so meaning it has a carburetor on it. You have to choke the motor if it's cold to start it. You can't just hit the key and go. So replacing the fuel filter on a 585, go through those first four steps there. Relieve the line pressure, and you'll find that little screw on the right hand side, or excuse me, the left hand side of the motor. Turn it out a little bit and just get that pressure off there so that you don't get gas spraying in your face or whatever. And then tighten it back up. You want to remove the cap screw B. You'll see it on there. And we'll go take a look at this one here so you can kind of get a little better visual on an actual machine. That's that screw they're talking about right there. They want you to take that off because otherwise you're going to be fighting with the fuel hoses and everything else. Putting those back on. So, and it is important on this thing, there is a flow arrow. Put it right side up so you guys can read it correctly. Flow arrow that way, meaning it goes up. Fuel comes from the bottom, from the tank down below, and goes up into the motor. If you don't put it on right, it's not going to work. You probably get your motor to fire for about a minute or two, not even that, and burn off whatever little bit of residual fuel is left in the system from the top here, and then it'll just completely run out of gas. It just won't work. So yeah, just be careful to watch those pins when you're installing them, and when you're taking them off, because if you crack, then you're kind of SOL and you got to order some from the dealer. So I can only imagine how much they are. Don't want to break them, so I will loosen that line pressure screw and then tighten it back up, and then I'm going to remove the old filter and install the new one. So I'll kind of give you a little step-by-step here. Get my slotted screwdriver out. Set that new filter down, and right there is that screw. And I'm not sure how far to go, how far not to go. So we'll just call that good. Tighten her back down. I don't know if that thing, I don't know if that thing would come all the way out or not. I really don't feel like losing little teeny tiny pieces, little springs or what have you. So tighten her back down. I'll take that cap screw off there. I want to say that's like a 3/8 or something. I got to get a socket out for that, so just stand by. All right, for those of you wondering, 10 millimeter, it is metric. Take that little guy off there. Take your ratchet off. There's another one tucked. You can't really see it, but there's another one on the other side you'll have to take off too. So we'll get those off and we'll come back. All right, guys, so when you get your filter off, this little guy will be on there like so, but it'll be around this little collar right there. There's that little collar, and these little tabs here are going to be down around that collar. So you want to get those tabs up and over that collar and then slide this thing off, because you want to replace these. You want to reuse these. So you got to do the bottom side yet, and then put those little clips back on the new filter, and then it's just as simple as clicking it back into place. Alright guys, just a quick tip. When you do take this filter off, when you do get that hose off on the bottom, the fuel is going to want to run out of the bottom of this filter. So just a little FYI, I don't know if you tip it 90 degrees or whatever to try and slow it down, but just an FYI, you're going to get gas that comes out. So just a little tip. I'm going to get that other little clip off there, and we'll put that on the new filter and install it. Alright, I'm going to see if I can do this one-handed. I'll show you what these little clips do. Just slide over the end like that. You can see that collar there, and you can see the little locking tabs on there. Push, hear the click, it's locked on, it's not going to come back up. I got my flow arrow going up. This is really hard to see. Get your clip to line up like that, and then you saw the clips lock out. That means the filter is locked on. It's not coming off. It's sealed back on there. I'll put the top one on and then install the cap screws back on. Let's see. For those of you that don't have heaters on your tractors, this is going to go a lot easier for you, unless you have those quick releases. Then hopefully your hoses aren't in the way like mine are right now. So I'm going to get that top one on, then we'll put the cap screws in. Alright, so I got the filter back on. Primed the system. You could hear that. See if it'll fire up. And it's fired right up. So that's important. If you have a fuel injected engine, turn the key to the on position, let it sit for a second. You hear the pump cycle on these things. That's the pump priming the system, priming the fuel lines. So that when you do turn that key over that the motor has, the fuel that it's calling for, because if you just hit the key, you're going to crank while that pump is trying to keep up with the motor trying to run, and then for right in the beginning. So I always just hit the key, let the thing run for a sec, let the pump run for a second, and then when the pump shuts off, that's when I hit the key. So always done it like that, and it works well for me. Again, just a little tip. Some of you can take your filters apart. I like doing it every now and then, just seeing what the inside of these things look like, but it's a pain in the butt to get these things apart, so we're just going to toss it. But yeah, after that it takes care of the air filter, spark plugs, engine oil, fuel filter. We are going to do the hydraulic oil and transmission oil next. I'm going to go grab something to eat, and then we'll be back. So yeah, stay tuned for more. We just about got the PMs done on this thing. It's also a good thing just to check your tire pressure every now and then. I have to do that. I don't have a compressor on me or at my house, so that's the only downfall. Wiping up a little extra oil here when I did the oil change on the four-wheel drive boot. But anyway, yeah, that's how to change a fuel filter on a fuel injected 585. I believe this is also going to be for the 728, 729s, 740s are diesels. I think there's another one, the 485s. That's what it was. Maybe there's another one in there that I'm missing. I'm not too familiar with the 7 Series. but they're the same tractor. So anyway, have a good one. We'll see you in the next one.